Who will make the Bengals 53-man roster? Preseason is over, training camp is over. It is time to deliver our only 53-man roster projection right now on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to CBT. I'm James Rapien of BengalsTalk.com. Hit that subscribe button. Join the 45,000 plus Bengals fans that have already subscribed and join the movement because the regular season is almost here. Hit that subscribe button. Like I said, also ring the bell so you get notified anytime we have a video posted. And let's dive into the 53-man roster projection. But before we do that, today's video is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use promo code CincyTalk. That's CINCYTALK for $20 off your first purchase with SeatGeek. Again, promo code CincyTalk. And I look at this Bengals roster, and for me, it is deep, it is talented, but there's clearly a drop-off at player like 55, 56. And there aren't as many dilemmas because of some injuries. Obviously, we know about Cam Sample out for the year. When you have an injury like that, it just changes things. And you have a guy like Jeff Gunter retire, for example, it changes things. And now a rookie like Cam Johnson could make the roster. It's pretty easy to see his path to the roster. We'll get to the defense coming up. But first, let's talk offense right now and take a look at who I think is going to make the Bengals 53-man roster. All right, let's take a look at the Bengals 53-man roster. Here's who I have making it. Quarterbacks, pretty easy. Joe Burrow, Jake Browning, enough said. Logan Woodside certainly didn't do enough to push to make a roster spot. I could see him back on the practice squad. Running backs, goes without saying. Zach Moss, Chase Brown, Travion Williams. I do think that they would be open to potentially tweaking things a bit if they could find the right running back via waivers, maybe trade for a running back. It's pretty noteworthy that Travion played as much as he did, and you get him some between the tackles work, but he's playing into the fourth quarter of the third preseason game. That's not a deep running back room, so I do think that they will be on the lookout for a running back, even with Travion Williams expected to make the team. Wide receivers, I have 6. And obviously, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are locks. Andre Yosavash, Charlie Jones, Trenton Irwin, Jermaine Burton. No surprises there. A guy like Kendrick Pryor, I thought might have threatened. He had a really good camp, hurt his hand or hurt his a finger last week against Chicago, and so missed this entire week. I think he'll be back on the practice squad. So far, 3 running backs, 2 quarterbacks, 6 receivers. You're not going heavy anywhere, and that theme changes with the tight ends. I have all 5 tight ends making it, and I know this is a big topic. A lot of people think that Tanner McLachlan should make it, and I just think of the future of the tight end room, and whether it's Eric All, Tanner McLachlan, Drew Sample, who's under contract for multiple years, that might be your tight end room next year. And for me, when you have a Mike Gesicki, you have a pass-first offense, it's nice to have Tanner Hudson. And could McLachlan make it back in clear waivers? He might, but he's also a draft pick. The Bengals don't like cutting draft picks, even though they had 10 of them this past year. I just have a feeling that he's going to make the team. So 5 tight ends for me. As we move on, offensive line, well, they go with 9. I could see them going with 10 if they wanted to. To me, though, Orlando Brown Jr., Trent Brown, Ted Karras, Alex Kappa, Cordell Volson, Amarius Mims, Cody Ford, and then Matt Lee and Jackson Kirkland both earned spots throughout camp. I think those other 7 probably locks coming into camp. You could debate Cody Ford, but I think he was a pretty sure bet to make the team. Matt Lee and Jackson Kirkland have impressed. Kirkland showing that he can play tackle if you need him to, even though he's a guard. And Matt Lee clearly showing that he's the best center on the team. I think a guy like Trey Hill is someone that's going to get cut, and you potentially bring him back on the practice squad. I think Jackson Carman is someone that's going to get cut or traded. If someone is willing to trade for him, obviously that would be an ideal scenario for the Bengals. The one that stands out to me is Nate Gilliam. Could Nate Gilliam somehow make the roster? I think he could if they keep 10. I'm not sure they're going to go that route. We will get to defense coming up next. How many defensive ends will they keep? What's going on with Myles Murphy? What do I think they will do? We'll do all of that and look at the defense coming up next.
Andrew Fox Miller here with Cincinnati Bengals Talk, and I want to talk about going to live games, live Bengals games. Whether I'm trying to find tickets for myself or maybe I already have tickets and I just have friends that want to join me for the game last minute, it's fine. No big deal, Jeremy. SeatGeek has you covered. You see this crowd right now? Plenty of empty seats, right? Well, that's preseason. Regular season is here, and those empty seats gone. It's going to be much more difficult to get tickets. I hope it's nearly impossible to get tickets because of how well the Bengals are playing for all 17 games. Regardless, it won't be impossible thanks to SeatGeek. And it's not just Bengals games. It's not just NFL games. There are over 70,000 events on SeatGeek. Tickets for concerts, tickets for festivals.
Maybe you even need tickets for parking for the big event. It's not even mine. It's not mine.
With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticket app.
Heading to LA to see the Bengals? Maybe you want to see Usher the next day at the Honda Center? SeatGeek has you covered, and you know we came through for you. Use our code CincyTalk for $20 off your tickets at SeatGeek.
That's $20 off your first purchase with promo code CincyTalk. Promo code CincyTalk. Promo code CincyTalk.
Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app.
All right, let's get to the defense. And defensive end is interesting. I have the Bengals keeping 5. Sam Hubbard, Trey Hendrickson, Joseph Osai, Miles Murphy, and Cedric Johnson. Cedric Johnson has flashed a bit this preseason. He also wins this job by default. Jeff Gunter retires. Cam Sample out for the year. And so this makes it pretty clear the path that they're going to go. Now, the one question is, could they IR Miles Murphy? The Bengals and every NFL team can put 2 players on injured reserve and do it before cutdowns and bring them back this year. They have to designate those 2 players, though. Miles Murphy could be a candidate for that, so something to keep an eye on if they want to free up a roster spot. McKinley Jackson is also a name to keep in mind for that. He is one of 5 defensive tackles I do have making it. Sheldon Rankins, BJ Hill, Zach Carter, Chris Jenkins, and McKinley Jackson. If they decide to IR McKinley or IR a guy like Miles Murphy, maybe they go heavy in the defensive tackle room. A guy like Jay Tufele could certainly make it and be the leader there. Dominique Davis, another name to know. Travis Bell, but I think Tufele would be the leader of that group. So something to keep an eye on. Linebackers. Muma Jong-Meta makes the team. I know he quickly became a fan favorite. Obviously, Jermaine Pratt, Logan Wilson, Akeem Davis-Gaither, Joe Bacci were all locks coming into camp. They're established, trusted, comfortable in the system. The Bengals love those 4 linebackers, but Muma Jong-Meta had 11 tackles, 2 special teams tackles this past week in Thursday night's game, a special teams tackle last week against Chicago, led the team in tackles 2 of the 3 preseason games. He's just all over the place. And when he exited the game, he led the Bengals in tackles as well on Thursday night. So at one point had 9 tackles. I think Devin Harper ended up passing him. You could see Devin Harper maybe making it as well. It's who they feel more comfortable with, I would say, special teams wise. I give the edge to Muma Jong-Meta. And the other thing to keep in mind here is Joe Bacci. He's dealing with an injury. It doesn't seem too serious. But again, with that IR to return, you could go that route with Bacci if you needed to. Cornerbacks, I had 6 last week. Or earlier this week, rather, for BengalsTalk.com. I'm down to 5 now. Mike Hilton, Cam Taylor, Britt, DJ Turner, Dax Hill, and Josh Newton. Those aren't in any particular order. Obviously, I think Dax, Hilton, Cam have the lead from a starting standpoint. DJ Turner right behind him. Jalen Davis on the outside looking in. And this has a lot to do with just the versatility in this room. You have a guy in Josh Newton who can play nickel. Certainly, Mike Hilton can do the same. DJ Turner has kicked inside some. And then it combines with what I think is going to happen at safety. Geno Stone, Von Bell, Jordan Battle, and Tyson Anderson all making the team. And then Dejon Anthony is a guy that I think they feel comfortable with in the nickel, playing some defensive back as well, cornerback as well, not just safety, if they need him to. And so are you keeping a nickel only in Jalen Davis when you also have a guy in Dejon Anthony who can probably give you more in special teams, is certainly more versatile, and you feel comfortable with your corners as well? I think, to me, Jalen Davis, Allen George, guys that had solid camps, veteran guys, you're hoping both of those come back, are able to make it back to you on the practice squad. And then specialists, I still have Brad Robbins winning the job, and I know he's nobody's fan favorite, and for whatever reason that is, but he isn't. At the same time, I look at Brad Robbins, and I think if he's healthy, he's the best option that they have. Ryan Rico, extremely inconsistent throughout the preseason. The door was open with the injury to Robbins and that hip flexor. and Rico didn't really take advantage. I think Rico is talented. I think there's a chance he could be the punter week 1 based on Robbins. But if he is the punter week 1, then that doesn't mean that he's going to be the punter week 10, because I think Robbins is the guy when it's all said and done. And they could also look at the waiver wire and go that route too. So we will see what they do there. Overall, though, I really like the state of this roster. I think there's only a few real hard, tough decisions because most of these guys are just locked in. And the Gunter retirement, the injury to Cam Sample, it just makes it much tougher that way, because I'm not sure Cam Johnson makes this team if Cam Sample's healthy. And so now he does make the team, and which is probably good. Does Tanner McLaughlin make it? I think that's the real big question. There's going to be a lot of people that have him off their 53. I have him on mine. We will see. Cut down day is Tuesday, August 29th at 4 p.m. I had to think about the date. Like, wait, what date is it? Tuesday. Oh, not August 29th. My goodness. See, I got the date wrong. Tuesday, August 27th at 4 p.m. So there you go. There it is. There's my 53-man roster. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Leave the comments. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and check out SeatGeek. We're excited for our partnership with SeatGeek right now. If you use promo code CincyTalk, you'll get $20 off your first purchase. CINCYTALK. Do that today. And for Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching Cincinnati Bengals Talk.